This is just an editorial, like I like to do on this program, that the school boards seem more preoccupied with allowing boys to use girls' bathrooms on campuses and not hardening these campuses. That said, you took the bull by the horns. You called an emergency meeting of all police chiefs in your county. To what end? What's the reason?
Absolutely. Last Friday afternoon, I called and met with the police chiefs online, and we all work in concert on major issues. Awesome guys. And here's what we said: there's 4 more days of school. Let's make sure that there's no copycats in the next 4 days, and we'll put a police officer or a deputy, depending on the jurisdiction, on every campus. Now, as of August 13th, when school lets back in Florida, there's a new law that I lobbied for, and they patterned it after a Sentinel program I had here, where there has to be either an armed school resource officer or an armed safe schools guardian on every campus in the county. Talking's over with. It's time to act. If we continue to do the same old things and expect different results, that's bad on us.
It's insanity. So what is the difference, just for some edification here, between a SRO, a school resource officer, and a guardian? Is there a difference in terms of training?
There is a difference in the terms of training, and you'll be shocked. A school resource officer is certainly a law enforcement officer who is certified by the state of Florida. A safe school guardian, which is now inculcated in law, was crafted after a Sentinel program I had here. That program has 144 hours of firearms training, plus they have to qualify at 5 points higher than a certified law enforcement officer. But they're only trained in that discipline, and they can only do one thing: react to armed assailants who are there to try to murder your children. So when it comes down to the day one out of training, our guardian actually has 25% more firearms training than the state law requires of police officers. We'll be well prepared. But as you know, the key to this is not intercept them on the campus. It's for the community to work together. If they see something, hear something, say something, because we want to find this active shooter long before they show up. And with every active shooter, there has been predicate signs, but people were in denial or didn't want to get them in trouble.
Another tool here, because a school resource officer, a guardian, it's a tool, right? And there's going to be you need a bunch of tools to protect our kids in school. Another tool is allowing teachers and staff to carry if they so desire. I think that's a great resource to have, because you never know who's carrying, and you don't know who's carrying it. And that's the wonderful thing about a CCW, which, by the way, I have. And it seems to me that the law is backwards, making these gun-free zones for people like myself who can legally carry a firearm. They should want me to carry it on campus, shouldn't they, Sheriff?
Yes, sir, absolutely. Now, we've not been able to get the Florida legislature to that point, but this law that the Florida legislature passed in only 3 weeks is a great law, and I, as well as my colleagues from around the state, push for this law that allows these guardians to have firearms, and they can be school staff that are paid, or they can be selected school teachers. So there was some pushback, if you can believe it, from the education system where we were trying to protect them, but we prevailed, and at the end of the day, employees of the school board are going to be made armed guardians under an authority that the state law gives the sheriff of the county, and we're going to protect our children. We're going to keep them safe. They're the most important thing we have in our life.
And these are important tools, and I would add one more tool. We need to harden the campuses. We need to have one way in, one way out. Sorry, but I think we probably need metal detectors as well, because as you point out, Sheriff, it's our most precious resource, and I'm sure the folks in your county in Florida and throughout Florida really appreciate what you're doing. Thank you.